Plus Partners President Lee Carter. Lee, what do you make of this growing coterie?
Well, I think the growing coterie means that Donald Trump has a better chance of winning. And whether you like that or not, that seems to be the case. But I think Youngkin's video yesterday was more of a campaign announcement than Joe Biden's was when he announced. The only question is he going to be running as a Republican, or is he going to be going with what people are saying that he might be going as the no labels candidate, as a third-party candidate? And that could make things even more interesting.
I was going to ask you on the so many people getting in the race. Who does it pull from? Because the two big dogs are Trump and DeSantis.
Yeah.
And as Tim Scott gets in, you have Vivek Ramaswamy. Do they pull from the Trump base or the DeSantis base? Because I would argue that the Trump base is solid and those folks aren't going anywhere. So if you're pulling from someone, it's probably DeSantis.
That's right. I think Donald Trump's base sort of sits very, very solid at about 30%. And that's the floor that he's got. He got some extra, I think, after the indictment. That gave a lot of people energy for him, saying this is completely politically motivated, it's unfair. They started to long for times where things were more fair in his economy, and it really gave him a boost. People were giving him a second look. At the same time, Ron DeSantis made some really big strategic mistakes that I think hurt him, and so he fell. But I don't think that all these other candidates are going to do anything except pull from DeSantis, and already the alternative to saying, like, you know, I can't vote for Trump again. I've got to look for somebody else.
I call Youngkin the damp Dorito because he's like a chip that's been sitting in the dip for too long.
He's the one that's so good on paper, but yet, you know, it's just not there.
Is he even good on paper?
You know what?
And I'm from Virginia. I digress. I've just got.
I think he did a very, very good job
I agree with you. 100%.
He's just, you know, just keep like video with the sound off. I don't mean to drive. I just drove the car in the ditch. But let's stay on DeSantis, because the backlash over the fight between Disney and DeSantis, we can talk about that. The Florida governor says he's not backing down. Listen to this.
They want to have their own government, and they've had their own government for 50 years. It's massive corporate welfare. We're not doing that. It's not free market economics, and it's not something that our state's going to be involved in. And so we will not change from that. And so they can do whatever they want. I know people try to chirp and say this or that. The chance of us backing down from that is zero.
I will stifle. Carter.
Governor DeSantis, stop fighting with Mickey Mouse and start fighting for the American people. The reason that people loved Ron DeSantis is what he did with Florida. They loved his economy in Florida. They loved that he kept things open. They loved parental choice. They like bringing parents into the school. They like all of those things. Those were all smart moves. This war on Disney is not a smart move. Disney is not going to back down, and this is going to just cloud the airwaves. And by the way,
He done what? Go ahead. Finish your thought.
it's not traditional conservative politics to get involved with companies. Isn't that what free markets are for?
Darn it, Lee. Okay, listen, let me give you the other side of this, because Ron DeSantis didn't start the fight with Disney. Disney started the fight with Ron DeSantis, lying about his bill, trying to say, we're not going to teach sex ed to kids that are, 6, 7, 8 years old. He's right, and to push back on DeSantis, and he's on Disney. He's right to say this is corporate welfare that they get. And I frankly, I get upset when I see the commercials, and I'm a big fan of Donald Trump's. The one thing I don't like is that he runs these commercials against Ron DeSantis on Disney, number one. And the second thing is that he's choosing not to debate. And he's a great debater, Donald Trump.
I will add to this, and then you can choose sides and see if you get invited back.
I may not get invited
It looks bigger picture the longer this goes on. It looks, regardless of why Disney pulled out this billion-dollar investment in Florida and six-figure jobs, it's starting to look petty and vindictive, and Disney is very smart about this. They said about Ron DeSantis, and he was even criticized by the Miami mayor Francis Suarez and said it looks like a personal vendetta, and Suarez is a Republican. Disney said Ron DeSantis is weaponizing the power of government.
Oh, come on.
What? But again, if you're running for president, what does that sound like? That sounds like what the Republicans are accusing the Democrats of doing.
That's exactly right.
That is dumb.
That's exactly right. And if you see some of the signage that DeSantis has had, it's very anti-company in some ways, which doesn't seem in line with what he's trying to do. Now, here's the thing. DeSantis has a very popular agenda. If he's stuck on message, if he's stuck with his Florida blueprint, I think he'd be taking it away right now. I think this is a complete distraction. People are talking about all the wrong things. They're not talking about how great America would be under Ron DeSantis. They're talking about Disney. And that is the wrong thing to take away. We're anchoring on the wrong thing.
We want fighters, Lee Carter. We want fighters. And
I want a fighter too, but fight for my pocketbook. Don't fight with Mickey.
And again, I'm not.
We could do a whole hour on
Not
this.
a huge fan of Ron DeSantis. I love Donald Trump, but on this
run.
one, he's right, and we do have to go. Lee Carter, thank you for joining us and fighting with me on this panel.
Thank you so much.